I suppose we would have to admit that this president inherited a bad economic situation. But by every measure of the economy that you can have, everything's worse, you know. And I suppose you can say that he had the worst economy he inherited. Well, if he was reelected, he'd be serving 4 years with a worse or more worse economy than ever before. So now I understand I didn't use the bad name of his opponent like I did Mitt Romney's opponent when I said elect Obama last week when I was speaking about it. So I apologize to all of you for making that mistake. But once in a while I get, you know, I'm not an orator, I'm just a commonary person, so maybe I make a mistake. But I didn't say elect Boswell. I want you to elect, I want you to elect Latham.
Thank you very much, Senator Grassley. Of all the introductions I've ever had, that was the most recent.
Pretty good compliment.
No, this, what an inspiration and someone for me to look up to, and a great, great friend, Senator Grassley. But thank you so much for everything that you do for all of us, which is very much appreciated. Two very special people. You're all special to me here, but two people I better remember to. One in particular, my wife, Kathy. Anyone, and I'm sure Barbara would agree too, that anyone that does this, you could never do it without your spouse. And with all the support you get, it's very important. Great friend here, who's been a great friend in the campaign, Ed Podolak here. Ed, Iowa hero, right? You want to say anything?
What's that?
You want to say anything?
Well, I just want to say it's a real pleasure to be touring today and tomorrow with the Congressman, and great to see the Senator who's been a friend for a long time. And you know, I'm really excited that he's going to represent my old district, you know, the Atlantic, Cass County Junior Herdsman, you know, my 4-H club. And so it's just a real delight to be able to spend today and meet a lot of the great people who have been supporting not only the Congressman but Governor Romney. So let's go. We're 1 week away. You know, let's open up the locker room door and hit the field.
Thank you very much, Esther. It's great to have you with us today and tomorrow in Atlantic. That's going to be one thing that's always been frustrating to me, and I've seen, I'm served under President Clinton, President Bush. You know, they were all over Capitol Hill, and I don't know, Senator, you found the same thing. They always had liaisons who were in our office working with us. We didn't agree all the time. That's fine. I have yet to see a person from Obama's White House in my office. After over 3.5 years now. And it just shows that they really don't care about anything else but what is in the White House. They think they're all powerful. And that's why we've got to get some common sense, some decency, a decent person in there who understands what's at stake. Because we cannot continue to spend like we are, to have the kind of annual deficits, who have the, supposedly, whatever his agenda is, I haven't seen it yet, what the new plan is, because I think it's just more of the same. And I tell you, in Congress, we're going to have to have people there who will stand up, take the really tough votes, because this next Congress is going to be, I think, whether we like it or not, it's going to have to be the most significant Congress in probably the last 100 years, because we are at this fiscal cliff. We are at a point in our country's history where we could very well, if we don't do the right thing, lose our freedoms, lose our liberties going forward. This very country, I think, is at stake in this election. And that's why we're going to have people that are going to support new President Romney to make sure that those policies are put in place. And this, folks, is at this point, It's not about Mike Brown working 24/7. It's not about me working 24/7. This is your election. We're going to do everything we can, but what we do doesn't mean anything without your help. And so I would really hope that since everybody's here, there are phones available. You could stick around and make some phone calls. Get the folks out there to vote. Now, one of our 6 debates here last Tuesday with Congressman Boswell, we did find one thing that we agreed on. He said twice that he wants his people to get out and vote on November 7th.
That's awesome.
I would hope each and every one of you are suggesting to your friends and neighbors on the phone calls if they vote on November 6th or before sometime. But it's pretty amazing. But you could see have 2 incumbent members, and actually there's only 2 races in the country, Senator, where there's 2, a Republican and Democratic incumbent.
The other one's in Ohio?
Ohio, right. And, but with 2 clear different voting rights. When you look at Congressman Boswell voting for the Wall Street bailout, the stimulus package for cap and trade, which would be devastating to us here in Iowa, for the health care bill, for Dodd-Frank, truly a whole different vision. You know, I voted against those things in principle, that we don't need a larger, more expensive federal government. And he honestly looks through everything and through the prism of Washington and what the federal government will do. We believe, and sometimes there's like a genetic difference, that we believe that the power and strength of this country comes from individuals and people who will actually stand up, work hard for themselves, have an opportunity to be successful. They honestly believe it comes down from the government. The rights come from the government. We know that the government should be limited by the rights that we give their power that we give to the government. And that there is such a clear difference. And that's why we need each and every one of you to do everything possible. Talk to your neighbors, call, put up the yard signs. There's still a good supply out here. But get them up and get the folks out, get your neighbors out to vote. The reason I'm doing this again, Kathy and I, in January 4th, we had our 5th grandchild, grandson Carson. And you look at that baby, it's $50,000 in debt because of what's going on in Washington. It is wrong, it's immoral. That's why we've got to change direction for this country. And with your help, we will do that, okay? Everybody go, let's stay here, make some phone calls, talk to your neighbors, do everything. It is your election. It's up to you, whether we win or not. You don't want to wake up on November 7th when the Boswell folks are going to vote and say, if I just would have done one more thing, we could have won. It's too late. Our country can't last 4 more years with this president in place and with people in Congress that will support that kind of a change. So, anyway, thank you all very, very much. God bless. Get another hot dog if you can before Grassley gets to it.
Hey, let me tell you about him. He didn't tell me they had free food here, and I went to Hy-Vee's and had to buy some food.
Two things wrong with that story. He didn't buy it. You know what? He would never buy. I can assure you. Anybody ever hear about Senator Grassley maybe being thrifty or a nice word for cheap? You ate here, didn't you?
No, I ate at Hy-Vee.
Didn't tell me. Anyway, thank you all very, very much. Yes?
I have a question. Why can't he buy his own lunch if he's one of these quote-unquote rich Republicans?
I don't know.
How do you think I got to be rich?
No. That's enough. Okay. Let's go get him. We're going to win.